Hello freedom seekers, welcome back to another video. Masturbation is often viewed as a natural part of human sexuality. For many, it's a harmless outlet for sexual energy, stress relief, or a means to explore one's body. However, what's rarely discussed is how frequent masturbation, especially when combined with pornography, can quietly but powerfully impact one's confidence, self-worth, and overall life satisfaction. Many people don't realize the subtle ways in which this habit can undermine their confidence, create a disconnect from their true potential, and contribute to an ongoing cycle of guilt, shame, and self-doubt. It might seem harmless at first, but over time, it can take a significant toll on your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. In this post, we're going to explore how masturbation, particularly when done compulsively, can kill your confidence and the steps you can take to reclaim it. 1. The dopamine roller coaster. Why masturbation messes with your brain. The brain releases dopamine during activities that bring pleasure, and masturbation is no exception. Every time you climax, your brain floods with this feel-good chemical, reinforcing the act and creating a sense of temporary euphoria. However, when this pleasure is derived from masturbation, especially when it's excessive, the brain becomes accustomed to these high dopamine spikes. Over time, your brain begins to rely on masturbation as its primary source of pleasure, leading to a phenomenon known as dopamine dysregulation. What this means is that the pleasure response from everyday activities, like working on a project, engaging in meaningful conversations, or even enjoying a hobby, becomes less intense. As a result, you feel less motivated, less excited, and ultimately less confident about engaging in life outside of the temporary high that masturbation provides. This pattern of seeking instant gratification from masturbation creates a cycle of emotional numbness, leading you to feel less enthusiastic about life in general and more disconnected from your natural confidence and motivation. 2. Masturbation as a coping mechanism. Avoidance of real emotions. One of the main reasons people turn to masturbation is as a way to cope with stress, anxiety, or emotional discomfort. Instead of facing uncomfortable feelings directly, it's easy to use masturbation as an escape. This creates a temporary sense of relief, but it does nothing to resolve the underlying emotional issues. When you constantly rely on masturbation to avoid or numb your feelings, you're missing out on opportunities to develop healthy coping mechanisms. You're also reinforcing the idea that you can't handle life's challenges without some form of temporary distraction. This mindset chips away at your confidence because, deep down, you start to believe you're not capable of dealing with life on your own terms. By repeatedly turning to masturbation rather than confronting the root causes of your emotional turmoil, you build a sense of inadequacy. You feel like you're weak or incapable of facing difficulties, which can have a major impact on your self-esteem and your overall perception of yourself. 3. Pornography and unrealistic expectations. The role of fantasy. For many individuals, masturbation is closely linked with pornography consumption. Pornography presents an idealized version of sex and intimacy, one that's heavily staged, exaggerated, and disconnected from real-life connection. Unfortunately, this unrealistic depiction of sexuality can warp your expectations and create feelings of inadequacy when it comes to real-life intimacy. If you often use porn to masturbate, you may start comparing your own experiences and body image to the images you see on the screen. This leads to dissatisfaction with your own sexual experiences and body, which lowers your self-confidence. You may start feeling like you're not enough or that you're somehow failing in the bedroom, even though the expectations set by porn are not real or attainable. In fact, many people who consume porn regularly report feeling disconnected from their own sexual desires and less confident in intimate relationships. Over time, this can make you feel as if you're somehow inferior to the people you see on screen, leading to a deep sense of shame and a lack of self-worth. 4. Masturbation and the fear of intimacy. creating distance in relationships. One of the more insidious effects of masturbation is how it can lead to avoidance of real intimacy. If masturbation has become your primary source of pleasure or stress relief, you may find that you're less inclined to seek out or maintain intimate relationships. The longer you rely on masturbation to satisfy your sexual needs, the more disconnected you can become from real-life partners. This distancing from intimacy can severely impact your confidence in relationships. You may feel anxious about sexual encounters, unsure of your ability to satisfy your partner, or worry that you're not as attractive or desirable as others. Masturbation, when used as a coping mechanism or a substitute for real connection, builds walls around your emotional and physical intimacy, which directly undermines your confidence in romantic situations. 5. The cycle of guilt and shame, undermining your self-worth. For many, masturbation becomes a source of guilt. The act itself may not feel inherently wrong, but the aftereffects often lead to feelings of shame and self-judgment. This is particularly true when there's a conflict between the desire to stop or cut back and the compulsion to engage in the habit. When you masturbate and then experience guilt afterward, you're teaching yourself that you lack control or self-discipline. This cycle of pleasure followed by shame weakens your sense of self-respect and confidence. You may start believing that you can't trust yourself to follow through on your own commitments, whether it's related to breaking free from the cycle of masturbation or in other areas of life. This inner conflict erodes your confidence as you're constantly battling with your own actions. The guilt and shame become more than just a fleeting emotion. They become a core part of how you see yourself. And over time, it may begin to feel as though you don't deserve to be confident or successful in other areas of life. 6. How to break free, rebuilding your confidence. The good news is that, just like any other habit, masturbation is something you can control. Breaking free from the cycle requires a combination of self-awareness, discipline, and commitment to creating healthier habits. Here are a few strategies that can help you reclaim your confidence and break the cycle of masturbation. Mindfulness and meditation. Practicing mindfulness allows you to become more aware of your thoughts, urges, and emotions. Instead of reacting to the urge to masturbate, mindfulness helps you pause, reflect, and make a conscious decision that aligns with your values and goals. Focus on personal growth. Shifting your focus from instant gratification to long-term goals helps you regain a sense of purpose and confidence. Whether it's improving your physical health, advancing in your career, or pursuing hobbies and interests, channeling your energy into something productive can help you feel more fulfilled and less dependent on masturbation for comfort. Seek support. Don't be afraid to reach out to a therapist, support group, or trusted friend if you're struggling. Having a support system in place can provide accountability and encouragement as you work to overcome the habit. Replace negative habits. Replace the time and energy you spend on masturbation with more fulfilling activities, such as exercising, journaling, or socializing. The more you create a new, positive routine, the easier it will become to let go of old habits. Conclusion: reclaiming your confidence. Masturbation might seem like a harmless activity, but when done excessively, it can quietly undermine your confidence, self-worth, and overall satisfaction with life. By understanding how it affects your brain, emotions, and relationships, you can begin to take action and reclaim your confidence. This is a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. It's about breaking free from unhealthy habits, creating new pathways for pleasure and intimacy, and ultimately building a healthier, more confident version of yourself. Start today and take one step toward reclaiming your power. You deserve to feel confident, in control, and fully connected to your life. 7. The impact on your body, the physical toll. While much of the conversation surrounding masturbation focuses on its psychological effects, it's important to acknowledge the physical consequences as well. Excessive masturbation can lead to a variety of issues, including fatigue, low energy, and even physical discomfort. These symptoms are often linked to hormonal imbalances and depletion of the body's vital resources, all of which contribute to a sense of diminished vitality. The body depends on a balanced release of hormones to maintain a sense of energy and well-being. Dopamine and oxytocin are essential for feelings of pleasure and motivation. But when these are frequently depleted due to excessive masturbation, it can lead to a general sense of being drained. This not only affects your energy levels, but also undermines your physical confidence. You might feel too tired to exercise, engage in social activities, or pursue new opportunities. When your energy is constantly sapped by this habit, it's difficult to feel strong, vibrant, and confident. This creates a physical feedback loop where you begin to feel sluggish, less healthy, and less attractive. Over time, this physical decline feeds into your overall perception of self-worth. 8. Masturbation and anxiety, a constant state of restlessness. Another way masturbation undermines your confidence is by fostering a state of anxiety. People who engage in this habit frequently may experience higher levels of stress and anxiety, especially when trying to quit or cut back. The relationship between masturbation and anxiety is complex. While masturbation may offer temporary relief from stress, it can exacerbate feelings of anxiety in the long term. The reason for this is the cycle of pleasure followed by guilt and shame. After an orgasm, there is often a brief period of calm, but this is quickly replaced by feelings of emptiness and self-criticism. This can trigger anxiety as you question whether you're in control of your actions and whether you can live up to your own standards. If you're not able to manage your emotions effectively, the constant fluctuation between short-term pleasure and long-term discomfort can leave you feeling restless and uncertain. Moreover, the anxiety that comes with masturbation is often tied to its secrecy. People may hide their habits or feel ashamed of them, which only deepens their emotional unrest. This anxiety feeds into your sense of inadequacy and prevents you from feeling secure and self-assured in your own skin. 9. The impact on relationships, disconnect and disconnection. Masturbation, particularly when combined with pornography, can create a wedge between you and your partner. In many cases, masturbation becomes a form of emotional and physical disconnection from real intimacy. The more you rely on yourself for sexual release, the less likely you are to engage deeply with a partner. This disconnect can breed resentment, dissatisfaction, and loneliness. For individuals and relationships, using masturbation as a substitute for physical intimacy may lead to feelings of inadequacy and a lack of desire for your partner. You may feel like you're not enough or that your partner isn't able to satisfy you in the way you crave. This mental disconnect is rooted in unrealistic expectations formed by pornography and the habitual nature of masturbation. The deeper impact comes when these habits begin to erode the emotional and physical intimacy in a relationship. Partners might start feeling rejected, which can lead to communication breakdowns and ultimately undermine the bond between you. As you engage in less meaningful connection, you lose confidence in your ability to maintain a fulfilling, intimate relationship. 10. Rewiring the brain, moving toward real confidence. The good news is that breaking the cycle is entirely possible. With effort and commitment, you can rewire your brain, rebuild your confidence, and begin living a life that aligns with your goals and values. One of the most effective ways to start this process is through a method called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections. To rewire your brain, you must begin replacing old habits with healthier, more rewarding ones. For example, instead of turning to masturbation when you're stressed or anxious, you could practice deep breathing, engage in physical activity, or start a mindfulness routine. These activities release healthy amounts of dopamine, helping your brain associate positive reinforcement with behaviors that improve your life. In the process of rewiring, you'll start noticing shifts in your confidence and sense of self-worth. As you cultivate new habits and develop healthier coping mechanisms, you'll feel more empowered, more in control, and more at peace with who you are. This shift helps to restore your mental clarity and renews your energy, ultimately leading to a more confident version of yourself. 11. The power of personal growth, embracing your true potential. Beyond simply quitting masturbation, reclaiming your confidence means investing in your personal growth. Confidence isn't something that's simply given to you. It's built over time through action, perseverance, and a commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Start by setting personal goals that challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone. Whether it's improving your physical health, learning a new skill, or working on a creative project, taking steps toward achieving your goals will give you a sense of accomplishment and purpose. The more you push yourself, the more you'll realize your true potential, and this realization will naturally lead to increased confidence. Additionally, focusing on your mental and emotional well-being through practices like journaling, therapy, and self-reflection will allow you to understand yourself better and develop a deeper sense of self-love and respect. By working on personal growth in all areas of life, you'll rebuild your confidence from the inside out. 12. Conclusion. Confidence is yours to reclaim. Masturbation, particularly when done excessively or tied to pornography, can subtly erode your confidence, self-worth, and sense of emotional and physical vitality. It's not just about the act itself. It's about how it affects your brain, body, relationships, and sense of self. However, breaking free from the habit and reclaiming your confidence is entirely possible. By rewiring your brain, practicing self-discipline, and investing in personal growth, you can regain control over your life and rediscover your true potential. Confidence is not something that can be given to you by external sources. It's something that comes from within. You have the power to break free from the cycle, create healthier habits, and live a life of purpose, passion, and confidence. By taking small, consistent steps every day, you'll find that your self-esteem and confidence naturally rise, leading to a life that feels empowered, authentic, and fulfilling.